Hey guys, Seventh Moose here. So, watching the news and stuff, and I'm not exactly happy with the state of social discourse in America right now. And I am not looking forward to the state of social discourse in other countries, although not really existing as it may be for them. So, what's got me all twisted up and angry? Let me tell you. So, on the off chance that you didn't hear, Facebook surprisingly decided to not unban Donald Trump, unsuspend. I'm sorry, let me get this right before I get fact checked. But the way that they did it, I thought was pretty interesting. The oversight committee, from my understanding, and I haven't spent a lot of time looking into this because it's just a starting point for a whole nother topic, but there are a bunch of lawyers and kind of legal experts and other things. And they're supposed to be a diverse community. They basically punted the ball over to Zuckerberg, saying that they don't really want any part of this and they're going to give it 6 months for him to figure it out. And I feel like maybe, just maybe, they didn't want any part in this anymore. They're like, holy crap, we just banned a sitting president. Yeah, it doesn't matter if he was unpopular, in our opinion, or whatever else. He was probably one of the most popular presidents ever, or at least someone who could draw a crowd, even if it was out of ire. It's like, could you imagine banning, we'll even use someone horrible, Saddam Hussein during the war when America was going after him? Sure, maybe he said some horrible things, but do you think that that's going to be good for the social discourse? We want to know the horrible things that he is thinking and saying. When you remove someone's ability to speak publicly, you're removing the bad as well as the good. And I think, honestly, this is probably going to be a good thing. If Donald Trump runs in 2024, which I can't see why he wouldn't, he's probably going to win the primary just out of hand. If they keep him banned when he's running, then they're never going to hear anything. They're never going to hear anything bad about him. You're not going to see his dumb tweets, which was his downfall to begin with. And no one is going to be able to see and say, that right there, no, I'm not voting for that crap. That's BS. I'm out. Vote for the other guy or girl. So, but then again, it's not just Trump, right? Alex Jones. I'm old enough to remember when Alex Jones was banned for what? He said he encouraged people. What he did was wrong, okay? First off, let me just clarify that. I want to get that out of the way. He encouraged some people to go investigate and possibly aggressively investigate victims of Sandy Hook, their parents and things like that, crisis actors, blah, blah, blah. Look into it yourself. Doesn't matter. But that was almost a decade before he was banned. So they basically retroactively banned him. So when something like this happens, you got to start thinking, okay, so what did they really ban him for? Well, he was growing exponentially on social media. He had sensed the Sandy Hook thing, because I do watch him. Sometimes he's an interesting guy. He's funny. I love conspiracy theories, so, I'm going to be a sucker for Alex Jones. He was growing on social media. He was gaining his platform. I was getting recommended Alex Jones regularly through the algorithms. So they had to do something to stop him. So they pulled up some old tweets. Oh, gee, doesn't that sound familiar? Some old thing he said a long time ago. This brings it back into cancel culture. It's not just that, I feel like my ideology is being purged from the zeitgeist. I'm not the only one. Despite, I heard this on CNN, I heard this on NPR. They were saying that there's this myth that conservatives think they're being unfairly banned. Well, what you think is that we say something bigoted or racist, and so we're being banned for that. But you don't actually take the time to sit there and think, well, is it really that bad? Is it even racist? Is denying the fact that someone's a racist, does that really mean that they are a racist? Well, this is what happens. And then you publicly say something that isn't at all derogatory towards any race, gender, creed, religion, whatever the fuck you have. But, and yet still, because this leftist cult, and that's really what it is. I'm not saying everybody on the left. I'm saying there is this definite left and right cult that aggressively complain, and then boom, you're gone. And what does this lead us to, right? It leads us to less voices being exposed. I've said this before. Bad ideas die in the sunlight and they grow like mold in the dark. What I mean by that is if a KKK member, who some people I really hate, don't get me wrong, is out there on Twitter spouting their white nationalist bullshit garbage, you're probably never going to change their mind. But someone else is going to see that bullshit garbage and all the comments below saying how they're wrong and having that debate. And you're going to see some other white nationalists debating and blah, blah, blah. Someone who's the layperson who's reading this is going to say, oh, I see. This is why they're wrong. On the flip side, and this is something I personally experienced, I was, I think I told the story before, but I was drinking with a guy. He was older and I was underage. And he had a couple of young male friends. And he would give us beer. And then after a while, he started spouting this like racist, neo-Nazi style KKK. I don't know what the fuck he was spouting. But it was absolute garbage. Luckily, I was sober enough to like debate him. Lo and behold, I wasn't welcome back. But, the other people didn't hang out with him either anymore. I would say I at least helped 2 or 3 people not get suckered in by this guy. Had he done that on Facebook, he would have had no chance of getting people in. So at the end of the day, though, it's not just those, little, what are they called? Anecdotal incidents. It's that we'll take it to even a step back to just some mildly dissenting opinions that you have now removed from the social discourse. Look at Hollywood. Someone who comes out as right-wing at all, even center-right. I mean, God's sakes, look what they're doing to Caitlyn Jenner. And, she was a hero to them. In that whole area, California as a whole, you come out as right-wing, you're excommunicado, you're persona non grata, you don't get work anymore. No one wants to do business with you, so you can't. So the only way to stand out, which is really important in their crazy culture, in Hollywood specifically, you go further left because that's the only way you can go. You can't go up or down or right. You can only go further left. So to stand out, you say even something crazier. So then everyone else follows you, and then they have to say that same crazy thing, and then you have to say something even further left. Next thing you know, you're in this echo chamber where there's nobody on the right, and everyone's just being dragged forcefully. But if one person would just say, fuck it, you're wrong and here's why you're wrong, I'm going to stand out by saying something right wing. And it doesn't even have to be that right wing. It could be middle left, for Christ's sakes. And they're ostracized, but they're standing out. But nobody has the balls to hire these actors anymore after they come out as right wing. I mean, I guess Chris Pratt is a bit of an exception. But then you have the same situation on Twitter. As these right-wing voices are going to get removed for their bigoted statements, all you're going to see and hear is these these left-wing ideologies echoing around and around in order to stand out, because social media is a freaking point-scoring game. You're going to have to say something further and further left. And here's what happens. It goes to the same thing on the other social media sites, right? In order to stand out, because, again, social media is a point-scoring game, you're going to have people on the right having to say something further and further right. You're going to end up with two countries, whether it's a peaceful divorce, a violent war, or just people stopping to associate with friends and family because they identify with the wrong tribe. This is not healthy. This is not good. This is really, 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 really freaking bad. We're never going to progress as a society when we don't allow bad opinions to be said. And I want to repeat that. We're never going to progress as a society if we do not allow bad opinions to be said publicly. We're allowed to admonish people. We're allowed to debate them. We're allowed to tell them exactly why that's a bad idea. And don't get me wrong, someone calls for real violence like, hey, that person over there needs to die for X reason. Well, then, yeah, let's maybe suspend them for a while, or, fuck, I don't know, maybe actually file criminal charges Then they get to be back on Facebook or Twitter when they get out of prison, if what they did was actually wrong. I know, crazy fucking thought. Anyway, guys, that's just like my opinion, man. So let me know what you think. Disagree with me, because that's the point, right? We're supposed to disagree. We're allowed to disagree. Talk to me down in the comments. Like, dislike, I don't really care. If you dislike my opinion, let me know down below. If you like my opinion, let me know down below. If you like my audio quality, my video quality, hit the like button. If you dislike it, do the dislike. Let's do this right. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. And do me a favor, be good to each other. End the video.